That's all we have for sports today. Back to the desk for you guys.
Now, Mike, I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about what the Knights are going to be bringing us this season.
Oh, definitely. I'm very excited about Coach Frost. You know, he's coming from Oregon, and this season should be a very successful season.
Agreed.
Coming up on UCF Nightly News, a social media movement is flooding the internet as Hollywood producers are under fire for sexual harassment allegations. Find out how men and women across the globe are showing support for victims everywhere.
Plus, Florida Governor Rick Scott declared a state of emergency this week in light of a controversial speaker at the University of Florida. How UCF officials say they're prepared should something similar take place here at home.
Also ahead, Knights celebrated the differences this week. We'll take a look back on some of the events that unfolded during UCF 25th Annual Diversity Week.
And in sports, our undefeated Knights are looking to spoil Navy's homecoming. How the team is staying focused halfway through the season.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Diana Luz Fuentes.
And I'm Brianna Voles. Today is Friday, October 20th, 2017. You've probably seen the hashtag #MeToo trending on social media this week. The campaign is shedding light on victims of sexual harassment and assault. Hoping to show strength in numbers, people are sharing their stories online using the phrase "Me Too" at the top of their posts. The movement comes after Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein was fired earlier this month following allegations of sexual harassment. The campaign took flight Sunday afternoon with actress Alyssa Milano being one of the first to call for action. She says instead of the perpetrators, the campaign focuses on the victim. Within hours, the two words flooded Twitter and Facebook in millions of posts. The trending phrase is sparking conversation across the world, and UCF's campus is no exception. Some Knights are coming out with their stories, too. I talked to some students who are speaking up about what's really behind the Me Too movement.
It's showing people that you have support. It's not just keeping it to yourself.
In less than 24 hours, a hashtag became a movement. Some are ready to share their stories, sharing every detail in hopes of making a difference for others. Those who aren't ready, though, like Victoria Calello, say the brave women sharing their stories inspire them.
To read other people's stories and other people's takes and to recognize myself in them and say, like, oh my God, like, I've had that too. Like, I'm not the only one.
But the movement isn't moving just women. UCF junior Jonah Yonker says the posts are a step in the right direction, and he's calling on fellow men to wake up and stop ignoring the issue.
My post was targeted at men because we're in a position of power, so it's easier for us to do something about it.
Even local leaders like UCF Police Chief Richard Berry say they recognize the problem. Berry says officials saw a spike in the number of incidents even before the phrase was trending. But the numbers didn't intimidate him.
If we have a spike, that means more people are coming forward. That means we're getting the information, more people are getting help. That's not a bad thing.
In fact, members of the department are making every effort to continue the conversation. One of those efforts is the opening of this soft interview room at the police department. Designers carefully crafted a space filled with soft colors and cozy furniture, hoping to turn a normally intimidating place into an inviting one. Berry believes the best way to fight sexual harassment is to talk about it. That's why victims are invited to use the new room, if and when they're ready.
Chief Berry also commented on the Me Too movement, saying he thinks sharing stories is a good thing. He says the posts send a strong message to perpetrators, letting them know their actions won't be tolerated.
The serve room Brianna just mentioned opened Tuesday, and we got the chance to talk to the people who made it possible. UCF PD and victim advocate officials says the typical interview room has a sterile design that can be uninvited to victims, and they're hoping the new room can change that. Veronica Figueroa is one of the donors who sponsor it. She says as the mom of a UCF student, this is something she's passionate about.
But never stay quiet. Definitely reach out. Don't go through this dark time in your life without speaking to someone. And that's why we created also this space for victims to know that you're not alone. The healing process can begin immediately.
Figueroa says she hopes it will serve as a comforting place for victims during their healing process. The room is upstairs in the police department and is open to anyone looking for a safe space to talk.
Thousands of students gathered to protest a speech at the University of Florida. After much resistance, the university allowed controversial speaker Richard Spencer to talk on Thursday. Students crowded the streets of UF with signs to protest the speech set up by the National Policy Institute. Several who attended the protest sent videos to Nightly News, and officials say they spent more than $500,000 on extra security. UCF President John C. Hitt says safety of students is the first priority if something like this were to happen here at home.
But we are ardent believers in the First Amendment, so we will try to preserve rights of free speech in every way we can and still maintain a safe environment.
UF officials made it clear that they do not share views with Spencer, but they can't prohibit groups or individuals from speaking because they're a state university.
UCF is wrapping up the 25th anniversary of Diversity Week. The university set a record last year with more than 40% of the student population being minorities. Hear how UCF celebrated the importance of diversity throughout the week. The events throughout Diversity Week included interactive sessions for students to bring awareness to the many sides of diversity. UCF student Tamara Lauriston had the opportunity to participate in an undergraduate panel on diversity. She says when it comes to Diversity Week, there's a lot of students don't know about.
And also Diversity Week just doesn't just stick to races and ethnicities. It's also LGBTQ plus diversity and as well as student accessibility diversity,
Another UCF student took the opportunity to bring awareness to mental health, a topic she's passionate about.
I wanted to explore the opinions other students had and how that differs from my own opinion and how that may be similar to my own opinion.
Students were also able to participate in a unique event while sharing their favorite UCF memories. The mosaic inside the Student Union shows some of the pictures students posted using the hashtag #WeAreUCF. The Office of Diversity and Involvement will continue to offer workshops on diversity until the end of the semester. This year's theme was to transform and inspire inclusion while encouraging reflection on the progress the university made in the promises to be more diverse and inclusive. Nightly News' Crystal Ruiz is in the studio to give us a quick look at our weather forecast.
Crystal, we've been having some cooler weather this week, and I may have actually felt a breeze this morning. Can we expect some of the same for the rest of the day?
We will, Brianna. This morning was so nice, and the rest of the day is actually looking the same way. Let's take a look at some of our current conditions. Currently right now is 81 degrees. And the humidity is a bit high at 62%. Winds are coming in from the east at 23 miles per hour. And do not put your umbrellas away just yet because we still have a 20% chance of rain to look forward to for the rest of the day. A little later in the show, I'll let you know what you can expect this weekend, and I'll talk more about some big changes in the weather coming up. Here's a hint, you may need a sweater. Dianellis?
Thank you, Crystal. UCF College of Nursing reconstructed their program to open up opportunities for students. The change will help students become more prepared for the ever-changing healthcare environment. The change to the College of Nursing will bring faculty and students together. Now students will have a greater access to faculty experts in the area of interest. Joel Edward, interim chair Department of Nursing System, says this change was a way for the college to improve and help students with their future.
Whether that's a practice interest area or a research interest area, they'll have just simpler and easier access to different faculty than they may have had in the past.
Edward says that students can expect more collaborations with faculty due to the changes. She says it may also carry more interprofessional relationships and the opportunity to reach out to other faculty on campus. After the break, relief efforts continue 1 month after Hurricane Maria swept through Puerto Rico. How the Orlando community is working to feed millions of people still on the island.
Plus, more than a month after Hurricane Irma, debris remains on the sides of Central Florida roadways and in homeowners' yards. Find out how local residents feel about the county's efforts to clean up the mess when we come back. The outpour of support continues for Puerto Rico as the island recovers from Hurricane Maria. Nonprofit organization Feeding Children Everywhere is preparing millions of meals for the island. I spoke to organizers and volunteers about how the Orlando community is pitching in for Puerto Rico.
Well, she didn't really need to ask this because we were already on board.
11-year-old Delaney Campbell is one of thousands of volunteers packaging meals to send to those still suffering from Maria's aftermath in Puerto Rico. She says she and her 3 sisters didn't hesitate to lend a helping hand when her mom told them about the opportunity.
Our mom just said, we're at the convention center, and then she told us what it was, and we were all up.
The young girls, along with 48,000 other volunteers for Feeding Children Everywhere, packed more than 3.3 million meals by Thursday. The group expects more than 2,000 others to do the same before it's time to ship. Crystal Rivera, the regional manager for the nonprofit, says every project is special, but this one stands out to her since most of her family is on the island. She says seeing strangers care to help people they may never know means so much.
There are so many good people out here rallying for the community, no matter where you're from, no matter who you are. They're human, and people see that, and people are showing up.
1 month after the devastating storm, 3 million people are without power, and 1 million still don't have running water. Volunteer Lorena Rios is a UCF student who has friends and family still on the island. She says it's important to recognize their needs and encourages others to help any way they can.
To something, you know, they could see that here in Orlando we care, you know, for everybody in Puerto Rico.
Because even the smallest gesture at a time like this can make the biggest difference.
Rivera says the nonprofit hopes to send at least 4.4 million meals to those in need. The volunteers will continue packaging food for the people of Puerto Rico through Sunday evening. Visit Feeding Children Everywhere's official Facebook page to learn how you can volunteer.
Hurricane Irma is long gone, but some residents are still seeing the effects of the storm. Nearly a month after the hurricane, some neighborhoods in Orange County are still lined with debris. There's also broken fences with pieces of wood laying around and bent-like poles that still need to be repaired. Winter Park resident Steven Stokes says he doesn't understand why it's taking so long for debris to be picked up in Orange County.
And in Seminole County, I noticed that they had crews out picking up debris within a week, maybe 2 tops. And I've yet to see anything in Orange County being picked up. I don't see any road crews. I see trailers, but they're all empty.
Stokes says he hasn't contacted Orange County about the debris schedule. He hopes to see claw trucks loading the debris sometime in the near future. And we're hoping to bring some positivity to your day. Here are some stories that can put a smile on our faces. Reporter Ana Espinosa is in the studio for this week's edition of Positively Nights.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. But if you aren't, I'm here with some news that could hopefully turn your frown upside down. The Orlando Police Department gave one brave girl who recently beat cancer a smashing opportunity. Look at the smile on her face as she pies Police Chief John Mina and several other deputy chiefs in the face. Those officers really are the cream of the crop. The UCF Police Department is holding a special raffle for a chance to win your own plush canine. It even has a little cape that says the UCF Police Department. Yesterday, 2 Orlando City soccer players presented a singer with one-of-a-kind jersey. Yandel held up his new jersey that said, "We are strong for Puerto Rico." And in other great news, the Orlando Magic won their home opener against the Miami Heat. There's definitely a bit of rivalry between the 2 in-state teams, and the Magic used their season opener to show the Heat what we can do. That's all we have for you this week. Friday's finally here. Let's make it the best one. Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Anna. And we felt a little bit of fall this week, but Central Florida is in for the first taste of a cool weather. Find out what you can expect in the upcoming week.
Plus, we're approaching the 1-year mark since medical marijuana was voted legal here in Florida. Find out how much has changed for those in need of the alternative medicine when we come back.
It's been nearly a year since the state of Florida passed Amendment 2, making medical marijuana legal. As the anniversary approaches, a group raising awareness about medical marijuana gathered at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Altamonte Springs. Reporter Chris Harwood spoke to the organizers about what's changed since the bill's passing.
With 71% of the vote, Floridians passed Amendment 2 last November. The amendment, which went into effect in January, has many Floridians curious about cannabis. Mark Matoza and Linda Bruce of Medical Marijuana Today noticed that medical marijuana events around the state did not provide patients with enough educational information. They decided to team up with the Medical Marijuana Treatment Clinics of Florida to create Medical Marijuana Awareness Days.
This is something that's it's almost like a movement of just educating people. The more people we can educate, the better it's going to be.
Key presenters like Turner Davis, who is Chief Marketing Officer for MMTC, gave short lectures to guests. Attendees learned about the benefits of using medical marijuana as opposed to opioids. In 2015, nearly 91 people died daily due to opioid overdose. To date, marijuana overdose is responsible for 0 total deaths. Dr. Joseph Dorn is the Chief Medical Officer for MMTC. He says he hasn't seen as much progress the last year as he'd hoped.
The most frustrating thing is the time that it takes to get a medical marijuana card. It can take several months sometime, and there's no reason for that in my opinion.
Medical marijuana is available to patients with certain medical conditions. 5 of the first cannabis dispensaries in Florida were present. They answered questions and offered advice to guests. Qualifying patients could set up appointments with doctors to register for their medical marijuana card. In Altamonte Springs, Chris Hargrove, UCF Nightly News.
Dr. Dunn says he feels recreational marijuana could be potentially legal in the state of Florida in 5 to 10 years. Medical Marijuana Today holds conferences around the state. Later this month, they will be in Jacksonville, the Villages, and Tallahassee.
Crystal, I hear we might start to see some changes in weather here in Central Florida. Will it finally be fall here in Orlando?
That's right, fall started 3 weeks ago and Florida is finally catching up. Throughout the week, we've been feeling some cooler weather here in Central Florida, but the whole state is actually feeling the same way. Let's take a look at some of our afternoon highs. Over here in Jacksonville, they're seeing the coolest weather throughout the state at 79 degrees, Orlando 85, and down in Miami at 84 degrees. In the state, we feel the temperatures drop a little lower than usual from the past few weeks. Orlando, we're here at 71 degrees, Miami at 79, and Tallahassee, really jealous of Tallahassee. They'll be feeling some temperatures of 62 degrees. And I know what you're thinking, why are we feeling these cooler temperatures all of a sudden? We can show you to our next graphic, and we'll show you exactly why we've been feeling some of these cooler weathers. And we'll just take a look at our 5-day. Oh, there it is. Thank you so much. There's just been this cold front coming from the northwestern side of the country. It'll be moving along the United States and coming into Florida by the middle of next week. We will see temperatures dropping as we go into next week. And let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. This weekend, we can expect temperatures in some highs in the 80s and some lows in the lower 20s. And do not put those umbrellas away just yet because we will be seeing some rain come Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And let me show you something you're really gonna like. Throughout next week, we will see the temperature starting to dip lower, and Wednesday we will have highs in the 75, low in the 56. That is right, 56 degrees. It is finally sweater weather here in Central Florida, but don't take out those Ugg boots just yet. But hey, for right now, we can take all that we can get. Ladies?
Thank you, Crystal. Coming up, the basketball team is getting ready to kick off the season, and they're coming back in style. We have an inside look at the new court design for the upcoming season.
Plus, after the break, your UCF football Knights are 5-0. Find out how they're preparing for the Navy midshipmen this weekend when we come back.
Good afternoon, Knights. I'm Danielle Case, and I've got your sports update. After dominating Saturday's game against the East Carolina Pirates, the Knights remain 5-0 on the season. This is the best start the Knights have gotten off to in program history. The Knights moved up to number 20 in the A poll this week after putting 63 points on the board against ECU. This week, the Knights play against a 5-1 Navy team on Saturday in their house. Coach Scott Frost is focused on getting another win against a conference opponent.
This is just another opportunity for us to attack and try to beat a good team in the league.
Navy's triple option offense will provide a tough challenge for the Knights as they haven't seen a rushing offense like this all season. The midshipmen have the #1 rushing offense in college football, running for almost 400 yards on the ground per game. Safety concerns for Knight fans arise after recent reports of 800,000 square feet of corrosion was discovered on Spectrum Stadium. The 10-year-old structure has numerous hotspots and rust, which prompted emergency repairs back in August. Contractors who built the stadium face a lawsuit alleging defects of improper design and construction. Stadium damages could take up to 4 years to repair and cost more than $14 million. Repairs won't impact any athletic events and are expected to be completed between February and July during the off-season. UCF will unveil a new look when the basketball team hits the court this season. That's right, guys, a new Orlando-themed design was revealed early this week. Roller coasters and Orlando Eye are just some of the new features on the court. UCF's athletic department took to social media using the hashtag Blacktop to show a sneak peek of the court. The first game for the men's and women's basketball team is November 10th against the Mercer Bears. The RCW is fulfilling President John C. Hitt's goals of becoming more inclusive and diverse. UCF Knights of all abilities have the opportunity to learn more about program services and equipment the RCW offers to students. Wheelchair basketball was one of the activities students could participate in. Madison Potter, the RWC Sports Club Vice President, says that these events are meant to give students a look at life through a different lens.
It opens your mind to different opinions, different ways to go about life. Some people have disabilities, other people don't, but we're one big family here at UCF.
Well, that's all I have for you guys today in sports. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Back to you, Bree and Dean.
That's our time for right now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, nightlynews.ucf.edu. And if you've got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at nightlynews@ucf.edu. Thanks for watching and have a good day.